what happens. So, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Doris Ptolemy coming all the way from Alberta, Canada. And I have my new friend here, Miss Mandy Kebit. Oh, no. I knew I would butcher your last name.
Kubicek.
Kubicek. All the way from, okay, where's my Omaha, Nebraska. Yes. I met her again on, asking her to do a Facebook Live with me, and we got into our virtual coffee and had a great time learning about each other and learning about what Mandy does. So I want to ask you, tell us what you do, Miss Mandy.
Yes, Doris. I'm a life coach, so I help people build careers they love. I've been doing it about a year.
And so what did you do before you did that?
I spent 12 years in the software industry. So I started as a software engineer working on flight simulators and did kind of everything in software. I always knew I wanted to get into more of the business side. So I got my MBA and moved into product. It was a lot of fun. One of the things, I feel like software technology can feel a little intimidating to people, but this is how I would describe my career. I was always kind of the middle person. I could understand how engineers think and work, and I could understand the business side of things, what the customer needed. And so much of my career was just bridging that communication gap, helping engineers understand what we were building and why, and helping business people understand the complexity of building software. So yeah, that's what I did before.
That's awesome. And you were like right in the middle. So you understood those guys and you understood the business side. You must have been like their go-to girl.
It was fun. There was job security.
Yeah, because you know what? Like it's a little bit like how my son was working with this company also. And there's all these engineers that, really couldn't deal with the business side because they just couldn't, but he was the middle guy and they loved him for it, right? They showed him what they were doing and he had all, so I get that. That's really neat, really awesome for people. So what, inspired you to take the plunge and leave that big corporate, that security and stuff?
Yeah, I've always been kind of a self-help junkie. I've always been infatuated with finding a career that is like the perfect blend of my interests and my skills and makes a difference in the world. So I always kind of was in that world. And eventually I discovered the field of life coaching, and it just felt like what I was made to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it actually took a few years after I knew that I wanted to be a life coach to make a move. And kind of the last straw, I lost my mom when I was young, very unexpectedly, to a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
and last year, my birthday, I turned 34 and was just kind of floored with a lot of depression that really surprised me. There's actually a day when it took me 2 hours to stop crying in the morning just to go to work. And I liked my job. I loved the people I worked with. There was just all this stuff coming up. And then I finally realized it was like, I had this idea that this could be my last year on earth because I just turned 34. My mom died when she was 35. And I was like, what am I waiting for? I know I want to do this. So a couple days after that, like crazy crying session, I made the decision to quit my job, which I thought would be really scary. And I just felt immediate peace. It was definitely the right decision.
Isn't that awesome? When you feel that, you just know, I've done the right thing. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you sure know, right?
Yeah, because something I struggle with is trusting myself. And it's moments like that where it's like, there's no doubt this is right.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So we were talking a little bit earlier about doing a coaching demonstration. And as we got on the call this morning, I'm like freaking out, right? Because I did something that I shouldn't have done, and which was I have this Helo here, and there's an app that runs with it. And there was a new update. And so Doris thought, we'll just dump the app and make it come back in. And this way the update will, everything will happen. But it's not in the back of the store. I can't get it to work. I don't know what to do. And it's like, this is not good because the reading, this app should read me at least 6 hours a day to give me the proper to give this system the proper information to make a NutriPack, which is artificial intelligence, like vitamins and minerals and herbs and stuff that I take once a day. It's a little powder that I put under my tongue. And now they're not going to have that information. So I'm not sure what to do. Mandy, help. How would you help me with this?
Perfect. Yeah. So just to let our viewers know, we talked earlier about doing a little coaching demonstration, because I think coaching is such a ambiguous thing to people. Like, why would I pay a coach? I don't understand what they're doing. Which, by the way, just look to athletics, because we pay coaches all the time and personal trainers to help us do amazing things. So I thought we'd do a little coaching demonstration, and usually coaching focuses on the biggest issue in your life, because that's where we can make the most progress, right? And so I talked with Doris about just picking something small, a minor irritation that we could maybe get into for, 5 or 10 minutes. So that's what we'd love to do. So thank you, Doris, for being so generous and volunteering to do this.
Not a problem.
Yeah, so this is exciting. So I start all of my coaching sessions with a very brief meditation. So if you're comfortable with that, let's do it.
All right.
And I invite everybody watching to do this along with us. So get comfortable. Maybe your feet are flat on the ground. Close your eyes if that feels safe. And start to notice your breath as it is without changing it. And now we're going to take some belly breaths. So breathe deeply through your nose, expanding your belly. Hold it for a moment and then let out all of that air. Another deep inhale and exhale. And now take the biggest breath you've taken all day and let every last bit of that air out. Let your breath return to normal and do a quick body scan. So pay attention head to toe where you might be holding any tension, and let your breath just relax that part of your body. So maybe your shoulders are tight, your chest, your back, your stomach, your arms, whatever it is, your legs. Just notice where you're holding tension and let your body relax. And then wiggle your toes, start to come back to this moment, and let me know when you're ready to begin.
I'm ready to go.
All right, Doris. Perfect. So you already kind of introduced the subject you want to talk about. You lost this app. I noticed you say something, this is not good. Can you tell me more about that?
Not good that I lost the app?
Yeah, what's the worst part about this?
Well, it's just the part about it right now, it's just that it's not reading the information that it should be reading for 6 hours a day, right? Like I could take, as long as I have this on for 6 hours a day, and it reads continuously, right? It checks me. We can put the amount of time. It could be from every 30 minutes all the way up to 120 minutes. So every 30 minutes. So I need 6 hours of that. And that part is all about, what it shows at the end, at the end of the month for the NutriPack, what's missing in my body, what's going on in my body, am I getting that sleep? And, you get a report every month of what's going on in your body. So it needs to work. And now I dumped it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
So not having that info, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not going to have the proper nutrition at the end, or they're just going to give me, I'm not really sure, because this is all brand new to us too. I guess they wouldn't have the information, I guess. That's all. That's about the worst part of it.
And yeah, I heard you say you wouldn't have the proper nutrition.
Yeah, because it gives you a package of, this NutriPack of this powder,
Mm-hmm.
and as it reads, it because I also have my DNA in there, right? Like they have my information on my DNA and stuff, and this is how this whole thing is built at the end of the month, right? They watch this.
So Doris, what are you afraid of will happen if you don't have the proper nutrition?
Well, I mean, it's not, I don't think I'm really afraid. It's just like, oh, well, that sucks, right? I'm paying for something that might not be exactly, what I need, right? I'd rather be paying for something that it's exactly what I need. So, I mean, I don't think it's too big of a deal, I'm sure it's going to come back up. It's just like right now, it's just like,
Yeah. So let's play around with one of these thoughts. So is not having the proper nutrition, sounds like nothing is really big and scaring you, but the thing that frustrates you the most, is it not having proper nutrition? Is it the concept of wasting money? Is it messing up? What are these?
Well,
which
probably,
of these pieces bugs you the most?
What bugging me the most? Well, when I do stuff like that, sometimes I'm just too trigger happy, because I like to, I'm going to make this work and I'll get rid of it. And, that's probably the part that makes me unhappy. I should have, I mean, it's never happened before that this app disappeared, but I guess I'm kind of upset at myself for being so trigger happy and getting rid of it this morning, right? You know how that can happen. You do stuff and it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So if we were to go a little deeper under trigger happy, fill in the blank for me, okay? I'm too trigger happy, and that means ... What does that mean about you?
Probably that I'm too quick at doing stuff without thinking first, without really, like.
And I'm going to ask you to, imagine your brain is like taking a nap, okay? You're analytical, you're incredibly intelligent, I can tell. It's just taking a little nap, and you're going to drop into your heart, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you drop into your heart and you ask the question, I'm too trigger happy. And that means...
I don't know. I don't really know.
What's coming up?
I guess it's like I'm too quick to do things before thinking, like really, thinking about, okay, is this a good idea? I'm really good at that, actually, like
What's wrong?
and then after that, you're like, oh, should I have bought that or should I have done that? And then you might have, like, I know it's kind of off the subject, but you might have buyer's remorse, or like, I didn't even ask God first, and I just went and did this, right? Like, because lots of times, well, I'm a Christian, so I give everything to him first, but sometimes I don't. And then it's like, did I even, talk about that? Why would I, did I do what I was supposed to do first, right? Really check it out. Yeah, I'm trigger happy.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like there's so much we could dig into there about what that means to you. Let's, for the purpose of this demo, if you're up for it, let's just play around with your first thought. I'm too trigger happy.
Okay.
So imagine the opposite. Imagine that the opposite might also be true. I'm not too trigger happy, we'll say. So here's my challenge to you. We're just playing around. I want you to find a specific, genuine example in your life, Doris, where it's true, genuinely true, that you're not too trigger happy.
Doing exercise.
Doing exercise? Perfect.
Yeah, I am not trigger happy doing exercise. Hence the way I look. It's I know it needs to be done, and I know it's part of my, and I just, there's something I have to switch in my brain, and I know it's in my brain, but to find that stinking switch, I can't find it. There's times I can, and there's times I can't. And it's like, why? Why does this happen to me, right? Because for the most part, it's like, let's go. Like, get on with the program, man. Let's go, right?
Great. Yeah. Great. So what's a second example? And let's try to even stretch beyond. We'll stay in this scenario, in this exact scenario with your watch, updating the app, that moment when everything went to shit. How might it be true that you are not too trigger happy?
That I'm not trigger happy?
Yep.
You know what? I don't know if I understand that. Can you explain again?
Yes. So go back to the specific moment where you got upset.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing maybe you were looking at your phone and you noticed the app was gone. Is that true? Or
what
was the moment?
What I was doing was just making sure I was looking on our side, making sure that I had everything, going that was, make sure everything was going because there's new updates and stuff. And that's when I saw the update. I read the update and I thought, oh, well, I should go and dump that because I didn't do an update on it. Instead of see, trigger happy, right? Instead of going into the app, going into the back part of it and asking it to update, I just dumped it because lots of times, if something doesn't work, I just dump it and bring it back in, right?
Okay, this is perfect. So the moment is you're sitting at your computer and you talked us through exactly what that was. So I see an example. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
You're not trigger happy because you thought through, okay, I've done this before and it didn't work, so I'm consciously deciding to dump the app.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yes.
Beautiful. So what's a third example of how it's true that you were not trigger happy even in that very moment?
Well, like you said, I've been through all of these different steps so many times that it was, for me, it was just go to get off the program and just go to the end. Why should I take all these steps? Right?
Yeah, so
I don't need to.
Yeah, so I'm hearing like you have experience and you were doing what you felt was most efficient.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Awesome. So looking at that, we started with I'm too trigger happy and a lot of stress around that. And then we just looked at I'm not too trigger happy. Can you see any difference in, I don't know, tell me how you feel right now. You're laughing. What are you thinking?
I guess it's just how I mull things around in my brain. Like I think I'm trigger happy, but like to just jump to the top, like I could be watching somebody or listening to somebody and showing me something and it's like, come on, get to the freaking point, man. Like I don't need all that stuff in the middle. And I know that happens to me all the time, right? It's like that's how I learn, I guess, because if you give me something to learn or something, if you give me a big sheet of let's read all this or a book, for example, a book, and he tells me it's this exercise book and this guy's, it's like very different type of exercise and he explains everything why, and I'm like, I don't care why, just show me how to do it. I don't need to know all this stuff. This is too much to my brain. I don't need that, right? And that's how I think I feel with a lot of different things, right? Like if I get anything that I use, Zoom or whatever, it's like, I'm not going to read everything about it first. There's no way I'm going to just go find. That's how I work. I go and find, and then if I can't find, then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go and read now because I can't find, right?
So yeah, so I think what I'm hearing is this concept that sometimes you turn into this devil of this trigger happy thing. brings a lot of joy and efficiency to your life.
Hmm. It does. Like, you know what? When I figure something out, like for the most part, I can tell you that everything that I've learned on a computer, I've learned it all on my own. I've never taken a course. I've never, I remember when we got the Macs, those little square box Macs, the screen was about this big for my kids. And they would play these not Lululemon, what was it called? Lemmings? So stupid games. And I never played any games. I can't do games at all. And I would do something and say I'd get Microsoft, not Microsoft, but I'd write something and it would disappear. And it was like, okay, where the heck did this go? Like and so I'd find, I just figured it out, and I continued to figure it out till where I am now, but ask somebody, you got to show me how to do this. Just show me. Can you just show me? That's all I need, is just show me. Don't give me something to read. Just show me. And, when I do figure things out and stuff, like for prime example, we couldn't get Zoom going on Facebook Live today. It's like, what? I need to go and figure that out and play with it till I figure it out. But I don't know, where was I going? Now I'm gone on a rabbit trail.
Well, I'm just curious if we jump back to that moment where all that data disappeared, and you had the thought, I'm too trigger happy. Does the memory look any different to you?
I guess I could say I could say it's more like I just want to get to the point and have it work, than being really trigger happy. It's like, I know in my head that if I go over here, it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's actually a strength.
For some reason right now, it's not my fault, because I know if that app was in the back store, it would be there, right?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Now they're working on it. Maybe if I would have read all the fine print, I wouldn't have done it.
I think my favorite thing is that the phrase you use for this is trigger happy. And it's like, I think it's clear that this habit, this trait of yours makes you happy. You'd much rather just jump into stuff than read forever. So yes. I like that. It's almost like I am too trigger happy, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, sometimes maybe it's not a good idea that I'm, it's like, okay, I'm doing this, done. I'm going to buy a truck today. I go to the store and I buy a truck, and I do. And my husband's like, you bought a truck? Yeah, I bought a truck, and it just, that's how I do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
Okay, so I think that wraps up our coaching demonstration.
Okay, perfect.
You want to jump back into interview?
Okay, so that was really awesome, and I'd love to learn more. And the other thing is, for everybody that's watching this, we are going to put her calendar link there. So if you want to, have a coaching time with her, learn more about what she has, we're going to put her website at the bottom also. And so you guys can get a hold of Mandy, and, anything. She's also like, I'm hoping that she's going to give us some little examples. She can use me as an example. Once Doris gets Facebook Live figured out, duh. and you know what? I want to thank you, Mandy, for being here and sharing what you have. And I think, even the part of you at 35 years old, 34 years old, thinking of your mom at 35, what happened and where you're at, and making that huge switch, where you were comfortable in your position, in your job and everything. And to do that, taking that step, there's so many women I'm sure of that just need that little bit of encouragement of somebody else that's done it. And, look where you are now, and look what makes you happy. sharing that, I think is brilliant, you know, with our group. And that's where, you know, basically where this group, it started off with inspirational things and helping each other. And I think it's manifested to so much more, because there's certain people that'll watch a certain live and go, wow, that totally ministered to me. That totally was for me today. And so I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to have you in our group and share what you have. And, you know, like, again, we can do a live once I get it figured out for good, and continue on. So do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I did want to comment on that. I agree. It feels like when people want to make big life changes, they want to do different work. Yeah. Community is so helpful. We need examples of people that have done that. So it's almost like we feel we can't admit that it's possible until we see examples of it. Yes. And then coaching is the other thing. So that's basically what I do, especially mid-career women who, you know, did everything they were supposed to do. They went to college, they got high-paying jobs and promotions and whatever else. Yeah. But they have that lack of meaning, right? And they want to be more creative and all that. So coaching is where I can help with that. And I wanted to explain real quick, because I have one super cool thing for your viewers. I'm offering a free focus session. So this is where you bring a specific issue to your life, or issue to the session, and I'll help you dig in and find the root cause and help you resolve it. This is totally free. You won't find it on my website. I'm just doing it for you guys. So Doris will help me share the link to that, and I hope to hear from everybody soon. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. So that you're going to have we're going to put your calendar there and stuff. Do you want to write, you know, what sucks most in your life and right now, and write that little blurb and put it at the bottom of that? I can do that. Yeah. So you can do all that because you are in the group and stuff. Most of it I have to approve, because I don't want just crazy stuff in there. And anyway, no, let's do that, and then have your links. And I am going to put this on here as soon as I get it loaded. And so it'll go onto our Facebook Live. Anyway, I want to thank you, Mandy, again. And I look forward to connecting with you all the time. You know what? I think you're going to be a great inspiration to many. Thanks, Doris. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.